And Ukraine's European allies put on a show of support for President Volodymyr Zelenskyy.
And this comes as U.S. is pushing a proposal on a deal to end nearly 4 years of war, which has been sparked by Russia's invasion. The Ukrainian leader first held a meeting in London with the leaders of Britain, France, and Germany before heading to Brussels for talks with the heads of European Union and NATO. Afterwards, he was to fly to Rome for a meeting on Tuesday with the Italian Prime Minister. The discussions came after U.S. President Donald Trump accused Zelenskyy of not reading his administration's proposal on a deal to end the war.
In London, Zelenskyy spoke with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. At a subsequent press conference, he said that Ukrainian territory was one of the main sticking points in negotiations, adding that Kiev had no legal or moral right to give up land to Russia in any deal.
Are we considering giving up any territory? We have no legal right to do so. According to Ukrainian law, our constitution, and international law, we have no moral right to do so either. Russia is insisting that we give up territory, but we definitely do not want to give anything up. That is what we are fighting for, as you well know. The Americans are looking for a compromise today, to be frank.
Now, hours later in Brussels, Zelenskyy said he had a good and productive meeting with NATO Chief Mark Rutte, European Council President Antonio Costa, and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Zelenskyy said our positions have been aligned on all issues. We are acting in a coordinated and constructive manner.
Ahead of the London talks, European leaders had expressed concern over parts of the U.S. proposal. German leader Merz said that he was skeptical about some of the details, which we are seeing in the documents coming from the U.S. side, but they would have to talk about it. Now, Britain's Starmer, the Prime Minister, said that he would not be pushing Zelenskyy to accept the deal spearheaded by the Trump administration, the initial version of which was criticized by Ukraine's allies as overly favorable to Russia.
The days of talks between Ukrainian and U.S. officials in Miami ended on Saturday with no apparent breakthrough, but with Zelenskyy committing to further negotiations. Afterwards, President Trump had criticized his Ukrainian counterpart for not reading the proposal.
Commitments are not delivered.
And I have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed that President Zelenskyy hasn't yet read the proposal. That was as of a few hours ago. His people love it, but he hasn't. Russia's fine with it. Russia, I guess, would rather have the whole country when you think of it. But Russia is, I believe, fine with it. But I'm not sure that Zelenskyy is fine with it. His people love it, but he hasn't read it.
The Ukrainian leader said that Donald Trump has his own vision for how the war should end, which differs from the Ukrainian one. Zelenskyy said that Ukrainian and European officials are going to work on 20 points received from the US side, and that counter-proposals should be ready by Tuesday evening to be sent to Washington. On the ground, local authorities reported 11 people were injured after Russian aerial bombs struck residential buildings in Zaporizhia on Monday afternoon. The attack came after Ukraine's Air Force said that Russia fired 149 drones overnight, with 131 neutralized and 16 others striking their targets. It follows a Russian attack on Saturday, which caused Ukraine's Zaporizhia nuclear power plant to temporarily lose all off-site power.